Hi everybody, this is Robin live from the Robin's Nest, and here we are. It is June 25th, 2005, and as you can see, I'm wearing a very special t-shirt and I'm wearing a very special jacket. It is the very first anniversary of the death of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. In this video, I have titled on this Robin's Nest, How I Found Out. The day was a very odd one for me. It started really weird because I did not know that Michael was an insomniac, and I'm an insomniac myself. So around 6 in the morning, I was still awake on my time, 3 a.m. his time. I was still awake, and he was still awake. And I was online, and I came across this website called Encyclopedia Dramatica, not the greatest website in the world, which is supposed to be a spoof on Wikipedia. And I mean, not Wiki, Encyclo Dramatica did a had a spoof of Michael. I mean, I don't know how I got to the page. All I know is that there was a banner. There was a banner on the page that had Michael's picture from when he did his interview with Ed Bradley, and there was text next to the picture, and I could tell that the text was just being mean and nasty and negative towards him, and called him all this kind of crap, and I didn't want to read it. And I remember being angry enough to say, why don't they just leave this man alone already? Why don't they just give him some type of peace? Every time I saw a magazine article, tabloid in my supermarket, I would always say the same thing. Why don't they just leave this man alone? Just leave him alone already. So, after I saw that, about a short time later, I finally drifted off to sleep. I only stayed asleep for about 4 hours. I woke up again. It was around 11 on my time. On his time, it was about 8, and he was still awake and alive. And a couple hours went by, and I found out through Yahoo that Farrah had died. And I felt odd because, for those of you who don't know me, I had a really great guy in my life a few years earlier, and he passed away in 1995. And I remember when we first got to know one another, we were talking about heroes one time. And I asked him who his hero was, and he said Farrah Fawcett. And he asked me who my hero was, and I told him Michael Jackson. And it was just very weird when we had that conversation back in early 1994 that some 15 years later, the two people that we both admired the most would leave this earth within hours of each other. So I found that very, very odd and very, very weird. And the first thing I thought of when I realized that Farrah was gone, I said a little prayer to my boyfriend. His nickname was Casey. I said, well, Casey, you finally got your wish. You get to be with your hero now. And I was like, well, I guess he's going to be like chasing Farrah around from cloud to cloud to cloud, want to take pictures of her in a red bathing suit. And I distinctly remember saying, well, Casey, now that you get to be with your hero, maybe now I'll finally get to be with my hero. And I had no idea that when I was saying those words, by this time, Michael had taken that crap and he was leaving us, and I had no idea. Well, around 4 in the evening, my time, I was getting ready to leave out the house. I was going to go to a coffee house to meet some friends. And as I was getting ready to walk out the door, my sister said, Michael Jackson had a heart attack. And I remember freezing in position. Okay, I said. And I thought about it, and I'm thinking, all right, he's 50 years old. He's a middle-aged man. He's not young anymore. he has this big tour. He's under stress. Maybe he'll chill out for a little bit. You know, it's just his first heart attack. It's probably just a mild one. He's going to get better. He's going to be all right. I remember thinking this. And then I said to my sister, okay, keep me posted. I went into town. I got on a bus. And when I got into Center City, uh, the bus was coming around City Hall. And adjacent from City Hall is Love Park. So right in between City Hall and Love Park, I'm coming around. And right at that moment on that bus, I'm getting this thought. I gotta leave Michael a message. I wanted to get to my Twitter, and my phone has some type of net access, but my phone is cheap. And I'm trying and trying. I'm trying to get into Twitter, and I'm doing all this with my phone, and I'm getting pissed. And then all of a sudden, I said, "Screw it! I'll just leave the message when I get to the coffee house. I'll leave the message on Twitter when I get to the coffee house." So I get off the bus, and I'm walking down South Street, and I pass this store called Lady City Blue. And the door is wide open, and there's this guy, the salesman, standing in front of the door, and I hear Power 99 FM playing in the background, and I hear this DJ say, and it was all quiet. The DJ said, "It's just been confirmed out of Los Angeles that Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, has indeed passed." And I remember screaming, "No!" I remember actually screaming that. I screamed out the word "no." And then I remember screaming out, "That's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. That is not true." And something inside of me was just breaking apart. And I was trying to keep my whole self together because I told myself for years, I told myself, if I do well as an actress, if I make my dreams come true, I was going to meet him and I was going to be his friend. As long as I'm alive in the world and he's alive in the world, eventually we will meet. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't become his friend yet. I haven't met him yet. And then I started crying. And I was walking down the street, still trying to get to the coffee house to find out what the hell was going on. And a friend stopped me, and he asked me how I was doing. And I told him, not well. We had just lost a mutual friend of ours a couple months earlier. My stepdad had died a previous week, which you can see a video about that on YouTube. And his funeral was 3 days previous. And I told him, and this happened. And I just found out Michael Jackson died. And he was talking to somebody, said, "Dude, did you hear something about Michael Jackson dying?" And the friend got on CNN and, read off the teleprompter, "Michael Jackson suffered a serious heart attack. Ronald Reagan UCL Medical Center. Autopsy results won't be known for another 3 weeks." And when I heard the word autopsy, that was it. I was done. I was finished. I was inconsolable. There was nothing that anybody could do or say that could make me feel better. You still can't. And that's just how it is. And this time, I wish I could end it with a smile, but